Hey there, in this video we're going over all the features in the UMV and Arcade update. In this update there are multiple new Petroliths, a set of new items, a new key item, a soul burst, and 2 new arcade games with matching saddles. First, let's go over the new quest and key item. In the UMV lab you can talk to this lady right here. Normally this is the person you talk to when you go on your mining missions. But if you have completed the Are Not a Trench storyline, she now has a quest bubble over her head. When you speak to her, she tells you about a guy in the museum who discovered a new artifact using some new device. She wants us to go find this guy and ask about his device. Once you get to the museum, you'll find the guy right here, standing next to his discovery. After telling you a bunch about this mural, he reveals his invention, the Detectall. After some more yapping, he gives you one of his spare Detectalls. Once you get back to the UMV lab, the lady is happy to know you went and learned about this device for her. You can then proceed into Laguna Lake and start looking around. Now that we're underwater, let's look at all the new Petroliths you can find. These 3 Petrolith pieces, when arranged like this, give you Nautling, an ancient and simple type Loomian. Nautiling's entry reads, "This Loomian is very shy and tries its hardest to avoid conflict. It has almost nothing to defend itself with, making it one of the weakest Loomians recorded in history." At level 25, Nautling evolves differently based on its attack stats. If your Nautling has a higher ranged attack, it will evolve into Nautillect, an ancient and mine type Loomian. Nautilect's entry states, after evolving, this Loomian now possesses incredible telekinetic powers. Nautilect's brain is more than 10 times the size of a fully grown human's. Nautillect is weak to Dark, Bug, Metal, and Ancient, and is resistant to Fire, Water, Plant, Electric, Brawler, and Mind. If your Nautling has a higher melee attack, it will evolve into Knockout, an Ancient and Brawler type Loomian. Knockout's entry says, after evolving, this Loomian now possesses incredible strength. Knockout is able to stretch its arms while throwing punches, catching enemies off guard who thought they were out of reach. Knockout is weak to Light, Air, Toxic, Metal, Ancient, and Mind, and is resistant to Fire, Water, Plant, Ice, Electric, and Bug. The next Petrolith is a little special. These 2 pieces share 2 separate but similar Petroliths, and that's because of these 2 pieces. They're both shaped the same, but the gem on each one is colored differently, as well as slight variations in the lower jaw shape and the teeth. The blue gem gives you Yutiny, an ancient and air type Loomian, keeping this typing for all evolutions. Yutiny's Lumipedia entry reads, using the feathers at the end of its tail, Yutiny can create small gusts of wind to stagger its enemies. At level 24, Yutiny evolves into Yuteen. Its entry states, Yuteen is able to create razor-sharp wind blades using its powerful tail. They practice this technique on large boulders. Once it is able to cleave a rock with the wind from its tail, it is said to evolve shortly after. At level 40, Yuteen evolves into Yutyphoon. Its entry says, Yutyphoon uses its large tail fan to create powerful gusts, blowing away any enemy that stands in its way. Some hurricanes are believed to have been started by an upset Yutyphoon. Yutyphoon is weak to Light, Ice, Metal, and Ancient, is resistant to Fire, Water, Plant, Bug, Spirit, and Brawler, and is immune to Earth. The pink gem gives you Venile, an ancient and toxic type Loomian, again keeping this typing for all evolutions. Venile's Lumipedia entry reads, Venile sharpened the toxic feather-like blade on the end of the tail by rubbing it across jagged rocks. At level 24, Venile evolves into Verinox. Its entry states, these Loomians travel in small packs. Verinox would take down their prey using their sharp toxic feathers growing from their body. At level 40, Verinox evolves into Verinosaur. Its entry says, Verinosaur stab at their enemies with their barbed feathers. If the wound from being stabbed by these feathers was not enough to take down their opponents, the poison from them will. Verinosaur is weak to Light, Earth, Metal, Ancient, and Mind, is resistant to Fire, Water, Electric, Toxic, Spirit, and Brawler, and is extra resistant to Plant. The next 3 Petroliths are super rare as they're technically roamings. The Petroliths are all very large and have no extra pieces. This big red Petrolith, called the Petrolith Atmos, gives you Morphezu, an air-type Loomian. Its Lumipedia entry states that Morphezu is an ancient titan created by the Soul Heart, with the purpose of protecting the skies. Morphezu could create powerful hurricanes using its 6 wings. This species was lost after an ancient battle against the corruption. Morphezu is weak to ice and electric, is resistant to bug and brawler, and is immune to earth. This earthy Petrolith, called the Petrolith Terris, gives you Behemoroth, an Earth-type Loomian. Its Wikipedia entry states that Behemoroth is an ancient titan created by the Soul Heart with the purpose of protecting the land. Behemoroth's roar could cause earthquakes and flatten mountains. This species was lost after an ancient battle against the corruption. Behemoroth is weak to water, plant, and ice, is resistant to toxic, and immune to electric. This bubbly blue Petrolith, called Petrolith Aquatis, gives you Leviatross, a water-type Loomian. Its Wikipedia entry states that Leviatross is an ancient titan created by the Soul Heart with the purpose of protecting the oceans. Leviatross could create maelstroms to trap enemies who threatened ocean life. This species was lost after an ancient battle against the corruption. Leviatross is weak to plant, electric, and toxic, and is resistant to fire, water, ice, and metal. So that is all the Petroliths done. Now let's talk about the other new items you can find while mining. There's a whole group of Fossilized Shards you can find pretty easily. They aren't super rare. These Fossilized Shards increase a Loomian's corresponding unique points by 2 instead of the 10 you get from normal shards. And the last new item you can find is the Skeliburst crystal for Seascourge Skelic, a very nice looking soul burst. It boosts every stat except speed and energy and gains the ability Rain Rush. This ability doubles Skelic speed during heavy rainfall. That finishes up the UMV section of the update. Now let's talk about the arcade section. Starting with Propae Pummel, this game is a pretty quick way to get tickets. In the beginning, you get 1 minute and 15 seconds to earn as many points as possible. The corrupt Propae removes 200 points, so try your best to avoid them. The regular Propae gives 100 points. The alpha Propae gives 250. The gold Propae gives 500, and the gamma gives 750. If you hit 4 gold Propae, a king Propae pops up. Hit that Propae a bunch to get a bunch of points and a huge hammer. To get the king Propae saddle, you need to get 50,000 points by the end of the timer. In the other arcade game, Zuelooong, you go around a 16 by 16 square, collecting as many power fruits as possible. Don't hit the walls and don't hit your long body. I would suggest once you get around level 40, start doing this kind of motion across the board to avoid trapping yourself. To get the Zuelooong saddle, you need to reach level 100. I would suggest dying at level 101 to be safe. If someone else uses a Zuelooong saddle, you can join them with your own Zuelooong for an even longer one. Along with its arcade game and saddle, Zuelooong got a bit of a glow up. It's now much cooler than the old design. This concludes our ultimate guide to the UMV and Arcade update. Subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and like the video if you want. See you in the next one.